Hi Jim, hi Jody. I'm Dan from Best Realty. Nice to meet you. May I come in? Thank you. I noticed that your entryway is really well maintained, landscaped and looked after. Your brick veneer finish on the outside is going to be really appealing for any future buyers that we may have once I've completed the appraisal, if you did choose to list and sell. Thank you again for taking the time to meet me. I really look forward to having a bit more of a tour around your property. Where shall we start? The kitchen? Sure. Yep. Yeah, I see here. So I see you've got some fairly recent acquisitions in your appliance and your fixtures. Your stove and your oven, obviously electric, very energy efficient. Very good. Okay. We sort of look around. I see your bench tops. They're a different sort of style. Have you had any sort of discussions around the ideas of renovating those, updating? Had the chat, haven't sort of gone ahead with it? Yeah, no, fair enough. When you're looking at selling the property, I can completely understand that. The main entrance, like I said before, there was absolutely beautiful. You've obviously done a lot of work out the front. Yeah, many good gardens and lawns. Yeah, perfect. I understand completely. Do you mind if I see your living room? Sure. Jim, Jody, thank you so much for bringing me through to your living room. It's a really nice space you've got here, nice and open and plenty of lighting. It's really, really nice. I see that you've got some older style furniture. Is that looking at staying, or are you going to sell that as well with the property? And take it with you? No, fair enough, fair enough. Basically, the reason I'm asking things like that is I want to establish if you'd have any shuttles or fixtures that would remain, or in the fixtures case, go if you did sell the property. Realistically, that obviously is going to increase or decrease or change the value of the property. If you turn to me and said you want to take the oven with you, for example, then we want to make sure we appraise and treat the property appropriately. Your living room, like I said, nice and open, very well lit. Your kitchen, very nice as well. I see you've got a few new appliances in there, such as your oven and your stove. So those are a really big plus, and would look at really launching your property into the market. I see your house. Is it a big brick veneer out the front, or is it brick throughout? Brick veneer, very nice. Thank you. We've briefly discussed on shuttles and fixtures. The property itself, if you were going to rate it out of 10 being brand new, 1 being more or less unlivable, where would you probably rate? Yeah, around the 7. So you think there's a couple of things that need work, but it's predominantly pretty good. Yep, excellent. I think that's a pretty fair assessment, and obviously we can work that into our appraisal as well. Is there anything major that you think we should be looking at getting repaired, or you thought you should repair, change, renovate before you upgrade it? No? Perfect, okay. Look, your home is nice and compact. You don't happen to have a floor plan available at all? No, you were thinking you'd get one drawn up? No, perfect. We can definitely look into doing something like that for sure. Now, the home, obviously being a 4-bedroom, it is nice and tidy. Quite small bedrooms once we get away from the master, but we can obviously work with that as well. The house does present quite well, but we do just need to look at those couple of things that you said you might want to fix, and we can just discuss if you want to get that done pre or post sale. As for your location here, you're really well placed, nice and tidily tucked away in the city. Funnily enough, you're in a relatively quiet spot, which I didn't think we'd quite find in this part of town. But you're off the busy roads, you're in a nice little private side street, and you're not on a corner, so you're not going to have that noise from 2 streets either. So really well placed there. You're not really on the road per se. You are set back that few meters, which does make things a little bit more pleasant. So all these things do factor in to how we will finalise your appraisal for the property as well. Heating and cooling, I did notice in the kitchen when we went through, you had an air conditioning unit in there. Is that sort of pretty well standard throughout the rest of the house? Yeah, perfect, righto. Well, make sure I note that down, because that obviously is going to impact, especially with our tropical heat up here in Queensland as well. Energy efficiency. So you got the aircon, you got relatively new appliances in your kitchens. What other things have you sort of got within the house that makes it relatively energy efficient? You got LED lights, or are you running just the standard Neos? Yep, you got LEDs throughout. Yep, so energy efficient there. Perfect. Do you have any solar on the roof? I didn't notice any on my walk in. Did you have any solar panels up there, and do you know the size if you do? No solar at this point. No, that's fair enough. You're waiting for the next round of grants and government help. I understand that completely. In my brief walk around, I didn't see any occupational health and safety hazards that we should really talk about. There was no tripping hazard on the way in. You had a really nice clear path. All your grass has been really well maintained out the front. I imagine that that's pretty similar at the back. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's all fairly simple. Obviously, anything like that we do come across, we need to make sure that we counter before any inspections or before any open houses, just to make sure we don't have any risks or liabilities to do with anyone inspecting the property. Just want to see, is there any renovations that you've completed since you've purchased the property, or no? So all the property and everything obviously had been inspected prior to you moving in, and everything's up to code. There's no unapproved structures, no sheds you've built out the back that I need to be aware of? No, excellent. Okay. I see that you've got a bit of a vacant block behind you. I could see it sort of as I pull up in the driveway over your fence. Is there any particular reason that was a vacant block, or is it just not been developed yet? Yes, still in development. No, that's fair enough. Owned by a super fund. Yeah, fair enough. They do a little bit of that out here. I understand your two neighbours on either side, they're pretty well built in. So you've got townhouses on one side, and then you've got it looks like just a single story brick home on the other side. Do you get along well with the neighbours? Are the neighbours pretty good, or yeah? Do you know, are they renters or owner occupied in the single story? Owner occupied, yeah, no, perfect. So that all feeds into the feel of the neighbourhood and what we can sort of look at when we bring people through, if they're looking at investment properties or the more owner occupied suits the neighbourhood and that sort of thing. We have to be mindful that we don't overstretch our knowledge of the neighbours. So obviously neighbours change all the time. We're not going to rely a lot on that as part of our evaluation and appraisal, but in the end it all feeds in. So if it was renters, we might expect different people in there every 6 months, whereas if it's owner occupied, people tend to stay a little bit longer in a house they've got a mortgage on or that they own themselves. So that'll all factor in. Realistically, I think we've got everything that we need to proceed with your appraisal. If you'd like to walk me through the remainder of the property, we can progress from there.